بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. So after the most interesting and thought-provoking discussions on تنازل الفعلان, we're going to move on to الفصل الثالث في مفعول ما لم يسمى فاعله. So again, a quick overview of القسم الأول. We have the مقدمة and three أقسام. So the مقدمة is الفصل الأول في الفاعل. We finished that. Now this is also linked to the فاعل, but it's a separate فصل. الفصل الثاني في تنازع الفعلين. And now we're moving on to الفصل الثالث في المفعول ما لم يسمى فاعله. So, الفصل الثالث مفعول ما لم يسمى فاعله. So what's the tertib of this? مفعول is مضاف, correct? And all this becomes the مضاف إليه. Yes? Ma, yeah. Ma is a mawsula, it's a mawsul. And it means that fa'il, that, but that what? Whenever you have a that, you have to think of what is it referring to. So that fa'il. Samma yusammi tasmiyatan means to mention. And lam yusamma is fa'il majhul. This is fa'ilun majhul. And fa'iluhu is the naibul fa'il. And this becomes the sila. And then that becomes the mudaf ilayhi of the maf'ul. Make sense, the tarkib? To the maf'ul of that fa'il whose fa'il is not mentioned. We call it naibul fa'il, generally speaking. Naibul fa'il. Substitute fa'il. But another name of it is the maf'ul of that fa'il whose fa'il is not mentioned. Let me get one point across here. When you have the word duriba, this has two names. What's this called? What kind of fa'il is this? Fa'ilun? Majhul. So some people call it fa'ilun majhulun. This is very brief for fa'ilun majhulun fa'iluhu. Fa'ilun majhulun fa'iluhu. That fa'il, mawsoof, majhulun is the sifa. We say here, this is man'ud or mawsoof, man'ud. This becomes the na'at. This is ismul maf'ul. And this is a na'ibul fa'il of the ismul maf'ul. What does it mean? That fa'il whose fa'il is unknown. So somebody probably made this up first, this terminology, and then somebody else came along and said, no, what? Don't call it fa'il majhul. Because if I say, قُضِيَ الْأَمْرُ وَإِذَا الْمَوْءُودَةُ سُئِلَتْ, when the girl who was buried alive will be questioned, is it فعل مجهول فاعله? Who's the fa'il of سُئِلَتْ? Who will ask? On the qiyamah. قِفُوهُمْ إِنَّهُمْ مَسْئُولُونَ يُسْأَلُونَ إِنَّهُمْ يُسْأَلُونَ, they will be asked on the qiyamah. Who's the fa'il? Allah is the fa'il. You say فعل مجهول, you mean you don't know the fa'il. Sometimes you know the fa'il. So it's better, instead of saying فعل مجهول فاعله, because sometimes you get what I'm trying to say. And I said, I don't want to stitch on you, but I said, it was said. Or it was said to me that, blah, blah, blah. I don't know who said to me. I just said, it was said to me. I know, it's not majhul, is it? But it's just not mentioned. So some people prefer calling this fa'lun, and other books of Nahw and stuff may have mentioned fa'lun mabniyun lil maf'uli. فعل مبني للمفعول, another name for it. That verb which بنا يبني to make, so we say here, that verb which has been made or molded for the maf'ul. Meaning what comes after it? The maf'ul, not the fa'il. And the other we call fa'ilun ma'loom. So the opposite of fa'ilun majhul is what? Fa'ilun ma'loomun fa'iluhu. And the opposite of fa'ilun mabniyun lil fa'il, fa'ilun mabniyun lil fa'il. Fa'ilun mabniyun lil fa'il. That fa'il which has been molded to accommodate the fa'il after it. Make sense? Yes? Okay. So far so good? Everybody with me? Any questions? Okay? Right. Now, so faslun maf'ulu ma lam yusamma fa'iluhu. The section regarding that maf'ul whose fa'il has not been mentioned. What is this? وهو, meaning the maf'ulu ma lam yusamma fa'iluhu, huwa kullu maf'ulin. It is every maf'ul, meaning mainly every maf'ul, hudhifa fa'iluhu, whose fa'il has been removed. For example, we have daraba zaydun amran. Okay? Daraba zaydun amran. If you remove amran, you remove the fa'il. And you say what? Duriba amrun. So amrun is really, so we call it naibul fa'il, but in the end of the day it's still a maf'ul, isn't it? It's the object, but it's been acted upon. So you can call it the maf'ul whose fa'il has not been mentioned, maf'ulu ma lam yusamma fa'iluhu, or you can call it naibul fa'il. Two ways of saying it. Easier for the beginner is naibul fa'il, but I feel like I prefer, after studying it, maf'ulu ma lam yusamma fa'iluhu. Because it's still the maf'ul, but only because its fa'il has not been mentioned, you have to now make it marfu'. So that terminology is better. So the fa'lu mabniyu lil maf'ul and the terminology of maf'ulu ma lam yusamma fa'iluhu is better than naibul fa'il and fa'lu majhul. But it's easier the other ones for beginner, because for a beginner you have to say maf'ulu, one word, ma lam yusamma fa'iluhu is quite difficult for beginner to learn all of those. And then also fa'lun majhul is easy, and fa'lun mabniyu lil maf'ul. So that was easier. But I prefer fa'lun mabniyu lil maf'ul or maf'ul ma lam yusamma fa'iluhu. This terminology it makes more sense and it fits in better. But anyways, so the maf'ul, the fa'il is not mentioned, then you make it marfu'. And that it says kullu maf'ul. It means not every maf'ul. Because maf'ul lahu, for example, can't become naibul fa'il. You get it? But anyways, وَأُقِيمَ هُوَ. وَأُقِيمَ هُوَ. Huwa refers back to the maf'ul ma yusamma fa'iluhu. And huwa meaning the maf'ul has been aqama yuqimu iqamatan, made to stand, put in place. And the maf'ul has been put in place of the who? Of the fa'il. For example, duriba zaydun. So daraba zaydun amran is the maf'ul, the fa'il has not been mentioned, and amr has been made to stand here, so it becomes what? Naibul fa'il. Do you understand? What is this called now? Maf'ul ma lam yusamma fa'iluhu. Correct? وحكمه في توحيد فعله وتثنيته وجمعه وتذكيره وتأنيثه على قياس ما عرفت في الفاعل. And its ruling regarding the fa'il being wahada, the fa'il not doing shirk. Not doing shirk, doing what? Being wahid. So you may have one word using different meanings according to which science is talking about. So tawheed in aqidah means opposite of shirk. And tawheed in nahw means opposite of jama'. So in terms of the fa'il being mufrad, singular, wa tathniyatihi being dual, wa jam'ihi being plural, wa tadhkirihi wa ta'anithi and being masculine, feminine, ala qiyasi is upon the rules ma arafta fil fa'il, which you have already recognized from fa'il. So all the rules that you've done in fa'il, whether the fa'il should be mudhakkar or should be mu'annath or should be mufrad, all of that, whatever it is in fa'il, the proper fa'il will also be applied to maf'ulu ma lam yusamma fa'iluhu. Fahim? Right. Now, a few rules I want to mention. How do you make a fa'lu majhul? Some will say it's regarding sarf, the sarf rule, but some nahwa have mentioned it. Like for example, like Qatul Nada, Ibn Hisham mentions the rules of fa'lu majhul. So al-madi, how do you make madi majhul? Or al-madi, al-mabni lil maf'ul. So al-fa'l al-madi al-majhul or al-madi al-mabni lil maf'ul. What's the madi majhul? يكسر ما قبل آخره ويضم كل متحرك قبله. Two rules. You forget man. That's my most, but don't worry. يكسر ما قبل آخره. The second last letter, what do you give? Kasra. And everything before that you give dhamma. Every mutaharrik you give dhamma. So this is it. So for example, fataha, ma qabla you give kasra, you give the remaining dhamma. Fu'ila, ma qabla akhirihi kasra, remaining dhamma. Ma qabla akhirihi kasra, you leave sukoon as it is, remaining dhamma. Ma qabla akhirihi, yuksaru ma qabla akhirihi. And the remaining mutaharrik you give dhamma. Give this kasra, leave the sukoon as it is, all the remaining must have dhamma. Ma qabla akhiri kasra, dhamma, leave the sukoon as it is. Uftu'ila, ma qabla akhirihi kasra, remaining you give dhamma. Ma qabla akhirihi dhamma, kasra, I give the remaining. That's how you do. So two rules. يكسر ما قبل آخره. To make a فعل مجهول or make them فعل مبني للمفعول. What do? You give ما قبل آخره kasra, and the remaining mutaharrik, what do you give? Not remaining. The ones before the ما قبل آخره you give it a dhamma. And you, this the sake, because remember فعل ماضي is مبني. So you leave the last letter as it is. فهمت? What's the rule of sorry, when you copy and paste and don't change it, so you get caught out. Al-mudari' al-majhul. What do you do now? كان أوله مضمومة وما قبل آخره مفتوحة. Two rules. The first letter will be what? مضموم. And second last letter will be what? مفتوح. So all of these will have a fatha. Have a fatha. And the rest, you give the beginning word what? First word you give, right? Dhamma. You see? And the rest you just leave it as it is. You leave it as it is. You don't trouble the other mutaharrik. Fahimt? Fahimt? Now somebody's asked, we had this question, somebody had raised a question in Sarf before regarding the qala and ba'a. So when you have qala and ba'a, how do you make it majhul? You can say qila and bi'a. So qila, qila, qilu, qilat, qilata, qilna, qilta, qiltuma, qiltum. Bi'a, 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 bi'u, bi'at, bi'ata, bi'na. You can do ishmam. Oof. Ishmam basically means you start off with the kasra, but then you make your lips go to a dhamma towards the end. So you say qila. So you read the kasra, but at the end of the kasra, you make your lips go wawish. So qila. Ask a qari to teach you this. I'm not qari. I'm a qari. So you have to get qila becomes qila. Bi'a becomes bi'u'a. Bi'u'a. I don't know if I pronounce it right, but it's something like that. And some say you can do dhamma. Qula. So qula, 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 qulu, qula, qulata, qulna. So in majhul you can say bu'na or bi'na. Qulna or qulta. Kilahuma jaizan. Or kilahuma jaiz. اعتبارنا باللفظ لا المعنى. كلاهما جائز كلاهما جائزان. That's the poem. It says here يا ليت الشباب بوء فاشتريته. The poem يا ليت الشباب يا ليت الشباب بوء. If youth was being sold, ليت الشباب بوء فاشتريته. Something like that. So بوء is using that one. So you say بوء or بيئة. Some say that this is an order of preference. So this is the most common. And this is the nice. Fahimtum? Everybody with me?
How would you show the Mushtaman, the second one?
In writing?
Yeah.
You can't show in writing. It's a pronunciation feature. It's not writing to do that. Okay? Correct? Everybody with me? Okay. So, ابتلي المؤمنون وزلزلوا زلزالا شديدا. So ابتلي, ابتلى, يبتلي, ابتلاء to test. So now what's happening here? This is فعل مجهول. Why? ما قبل يكسر ما قبل آخره ويضم كل متحرك قبله. So look, ابتلي. And because this is ابتلي. And المؤمنون is called what? نائب الفاعل or مفعول ما لم يسمى فاعله. And because this is جمع مكسر, you have to bring it مفرد. And because the fa'il is afterwards, it's a mufrad. And you also have to bring it as mudhakkar because the fa'il is what? Mudhakkar haqiqi. وَزُلْزِلُوا, the fa'il is coming previously, you have to do jama'. And zulzilu, they were shaken. The Muslim mu'mins were tested and they were shaken. وَزُلْزِلُوا زِلْزَالًا شَدِيدًا. Yes? Correct? Make sense? Yes? Yes? ولا يقبل منها شفاعة. So again, يفتح ما قبل آخره ويضم كل متحرك قبله. يقبل is مجهول. This is مؤنث غير حقيقي, so you have a choice, you have خيار. And even on top of that, you have a خيار plus you have فاصلة, so you got double choice. ولا يؤخذ, so no intercession will be accepted, nor will any ransom be taken from them. Okay? إنما يوفى الصابرون أجرهم بغير حساب. We do إنما in Balagha sometime. Yuwaffa is waffa, yuwaffi, tawfiyatun, to give in full. So yuftahu ma qabla akhirihi wa yudhammu awwaluhu kal fa'il. I think I said the wrong word for this one. Yudhammu ma qabla akhirihi for mudari, and yuftahu ma qabla akhirihi wa yudhammu awwaluhu in mudari. Now, an important rule to remember here. You have as-sabiruna, was-sabirun tarkeeb.
The
Whatever you say, I'm going to say it's wrong. What is it?
the maf'ul
No, sabirun.
the fa
Okay, you have first fa'il majhul. Is fa'il mabni lil maf'ul.
that will the naib al-fa'il.
No, it's not naib al-fa'il. It's called maf'ul ma laysa mafa'iluhu. I told you, whatever you say, I'm going to say it's wrong. فعل مبني للمفعول. That's why this ayah is better. Because look, you say فعل مبني للمفعول. This is molded for the maf'ul. Then you call this what? Maf'ul. Of the which maf'ul? مفعول ما لم يسمى فاعله. Correct? Yes? Now, remember, only the maf'ul bihi awwal, maf'ul bihi become na'ibul fa'il. If you have two of them, the ajrahum stays mansoob. This becomes maf'ulun bihi. Because what will happen? So it means Allah will give the patient ones their reward. So two maf'ul, Allah will give. Who will Allah give?
The patient one.
Patient. What will He give them? Their reward. So you have a direct object and indirect object. So the one will become the naibul fa'il. I said it's wrong. Maf'ulu ma lam yusamma fa'iluhu. You can say naibul fa'il. I'm joking. Both is right. Naibul fa'il and maf'ul ma yusamma fa'iluhu. Both is the same. Naibul fa'il is easier in the tongue, and maf'ulu ma yusamma fa'iluhu is more. It matches up better in the nazm, the system. So the first one becomes the naibul fa'il, and the second one remains what? The second one remains the maf'ul bihi. If you got two of them, two maf'uls, then one becomes naibul fa'il, and the other one remains the same. So Allah will give the patient ones their reward without any account, meaning a lot. Fahimed? Yes? Inshallah, tomorrow I'll go through another masala, inshallah. So I said I'm not afraid or against detail, but relevant detail. You can see its application commonly. Khilafan li tanazul al-fa'layn. Okay? That scarred me for life, tanazul al-fa'layn, teaching that. Ji. Yes, everybody follow me? Subhanallah, bihamdi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, wa nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.